What's the gospel? Hey, you Christians always say that, whatever you are. What is the gospel? Is that something like it's like a brand? Is that like a logo?
The gospel?
What do you think when you hear that?
Well, I think of the meaning of the word. I think, oh yeah, no, I think, I think of the meaning of gospel, of good news. I guess I think about that as the person I am, which is a person in the field of journalism and media. And I think part of my calling is to shine a light on the good news that's happening. Because what we internalize all the time is the bad news.
You can see good news on
and
all the
it shapes
stations,
us.
No?
I'm not interested in feel-good news. And good news is complicated. The good news is complicated, like we are.
Pain is good?
Pain is part of the story. Pain.
Can you grow without pain?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Is it a gift?
I think there are limits to how much you can grow without pain, which is not that any of us necessarily would ask for it. I was listening back to an interview I did with Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a great Vietnamese Zen Buddhist teacher, poet.
We talk about him at dinner too.
He's really amazing. Well, he's about to die. He just had a brain error. So I've been thinking about him because I interviewed him a long time ago. We're going to put that on the air when he dies. And so he's this Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk who was a force for peace in Vietnam in the war and in his country. And he said to me, he has this amazing way of talking about suffering, how we grow through suffering. The lotus grows in the mud. And he said to me, I would never think of the kingdom of heaven as a place without suffering. I wouldn't want to live in a place without suffering, because how without suffering would we become compassionate towards others? And I just thought that was so striking that he was talking about the kingdom of heaven. And what he said was very challenging, because we don't choose suffering, and I just don't think it's instinctive to want to choose suffering. But I do experience that as a gift of people who've lived a long time. I mean, I think you live a long time, and somebody like Walter Brueggemann or Jean Vanier or Thich Nhat Hanh, Elie Wiesel, people who are able to really live into perspective. I mean, it's not so much that they wish it or they celebrate suffering, but they know it's how they've grown. And they can see its hazards, but they also see what suffering makes possible. It's a mystery.